Hello, welcome back. I'm John. I've got a book haul I'd like to share with you today. So these are books that I have picked up since about the beginning of March, probably into February. And yeah, so I'll just get right into it. I know it probably doesn't look like it on screen, but I have been getting rid of a bunch of books. I've been donating quite a few books, and the ones that are worth a little money, I've been getting ready to sell those. If you just look behind me, it probably doesn't look like much has changed. It probably actually looks like I have more books because I put some up here and I've added a shelf with a riser here so I can see the books behind this row, but those books have always been there. And anyway, we'll just we'll just get started here. So I was really surprised to find this one. This is The Boats of the Glen Carrig by William Hope Hodgson. I liked his book, The House on the Borderland, and I've liked several of his short stories, but I've never seen this book. I was really happy to find this. And I picked up all of these on clearance or at thrift stores, so they were all really cheap when I get to it. Oh, and I forgot to mention I'm currently reading this. I started last night, so it's pretty good so far. There's another book I've been reading for quite a while, which is Corregidor, The End of the Line by Eric Morris. This is really good. This is about the Japanese invasion of the Philippines in 1941 through 1942, which is a subject I don't really know much about, and most people, even people who read about the Second World War, don't know much about. And my only real trouble with this is I don't know if this will come through, but the font is tiny, tiny, and it kind of hurts my eyes, which is not normal. That kind of thing usually doesn't bother me. So here is Company Commander by Charles B. McDonald. This is one of those bantams with the wraparound cover. I really like these, the design. These are usually really good books too. The next book is No Wind of Blame by Georgette Heyer, and she's becoming my favorite mystery novelist, and I'm really looking forward to reading her other books. I pretty much buy them on site, not her romances, but her mysteries. I've considered reading one of her romances. I don't know. I'm going to have to kind of push myself to do that one of these days. Here is The Autobiography of Bertrand Russell, and I don't really know why I got this, except that I had never seen it. I'm not really into philosophy anymore at all, but I've really enjoyed the interviews with Bertrand Russell that I've seen, so I was hoping that maybe some of that is captured in his autobiography, but I don't know. I don't know anything about it. I've seen it, but not in person. It was $1.50, something like that, so I took a chance. Here's another book I kind of took a chance on, Deliverance by James Dickey, and I think it was Michael Werdenberg talked about this recently, and he said it was really good. I mean, as a horror novel, but just really well written, and the way he talked about it made me want it. So I found it and I bought it. And this is the most expensive book that I bought. It's Das Boot, The Boat by Lothar Gunther Buchheim. I've wanted this for 15 years, so I spent $8 on this, and that's more money than I usually spend on a book because I have so many. But this is only the second copy that I've seen in 15 years, so, or probably about 10 years. And I just decided to get it because I've wanted it for so long, and I don't know when I'll see it again. And I've kind of regretted not getting it the first time. So I've really wanted to read this for some time. This is the novel that inspired the film Das Boot. So here is two books that were a little too expensive. They sat on the shelf next to each other for quite some time, and I thought they looked really interesting. But I just didn't feel comfortable taking a $5 risk on them a piece. So it would have been a $10 risk. I waited, and they both went on clearance for $1 each. Area 7 by Matthew Riley and Ice Station by Matthew Riley. And these are action-adventure novels. And, you never really know what you're going to get with an action-adventure novel. So I'm not as willing to take chances on them as I am with other books. But they might be really good. They might be really terrible. I don't know. I have to find out. Here is Submarine by Edward L. Beach. And I've been looking for this for quite some time. I have several of Edward Beach's other novels. He was in this book he talks about his time as executive officer on board, I think, Trigger. And he wrote several other books. He has really nice handwriting. Hang on a moment. So here is his book Salt and Steel, which came out about 20 some odd years ago. But I'll cover up the name. But there is Edward L. Beach's handwriting and his signature. So he had a pretty storied career. He was captain of the first submarine to go all the way around the world underwater without surfacing. And he was a pretty interesting guy. So this is his autobiography. And I haven't read this one yet. I've been hoping to. I paid $3 for this, but I don't know if it'll come through on screen. Let's see what that says. Always remember those who gave their all for us and are continuing to do so. Edward L. Beach, Captain, U.S. Navy, June 2002. So I just picked that up. There it was. I bought it. And I'll stick that over here. Anyway, but I'm looking forward to this one. I really like books about submarines, submarine captains, executive officers, all kinds of things. So that'll be pretty good. And here's another book. I've already read this one, not this copy, but I read this years ago and I saw it. I wanted it again because I don't think I really appreciated it the first time I read it. It's Iron Coffins by Herbert A. Werner, I'm guessing. He was a U-boat captain. And this was pretty good, but like I said, I don't think I appreciated it fully the first time I read it, so I'd like to read that again. Here is Casino by Nicholas Pileggi, or Pileggi probably. And I just read Wise Guy for like the third time over the years. I've read it since I was 14 or 15, somewhere in there, and I've never read Casino, but I've always wanted to. And these are, true stories, or as close to true as they can get, I suppose. And I'll be talking about Wise Guy soon. Here is The Dawn's Early Light by Walter Lord. This is about the War of 1812. And there is Walter Lord. He's become one of these authors that when I see his books, I just grab them because I've yet to read one that wasn't fantastic. So he wrote A Night to Remember. And he also wrote The Good Years, I believe. Yes, The Good Years, Day of Infamy. So I've read The Good Years, and it was really good. And A Night to Remember was really good also. And I bet that'll be pretty good too. Here is Gemstones of the World by Walter Schumann. And this is really, really neat. It talks about how stones are mined, but then it's also as examples of how they are crafted, and all kinds of pages of different kinds of gemstones and different cuts and their properties. And what you don't know that I know is that what I would really like to do, like if I have a dream job, I would like to be an appraiser of fine antique jewelry. Like, I don't know why exactly, except that I really like shiny things. But I have my moral and ethical concerns about that kind of thing, so I've never really gone into it. And yeah, so it's just a lot of neat pictures. So this is Able Team number 42, Dead Zone, by Dick Stivers. It's actually by a guy named Ron Renauld. And I've read one of these Able Team books, and it was really good. I started this one, but it was a little bit different. There were more characters, and I couldn't get into it. But I'm looking forward to reading this in the future. Then we have Night Action by Captain Peter Dickens, DSO, MBE, DSC, Britain's Royal Navy. What's neat about this book is that there is a drawing of Captain Peter Dickens, and he was on a motor torpedo boat. So let's see. The true thrilling saga of sea combat told by an ex-flotilla commander of motor torpedo boats. I also started this one, but I think I had already started Corregidor by then, and I just didn't want to double up on World War II at the moment. So I read novels instead. Here is SSGB by Lynn Dayton. And I've liked Lynn Dayton's books, but I sometimes have issues with them. They're a little convoluted sometimes, and they're hard to follow the plot. So this next one is The Black Hole by Alan Dean Foster. And apparently this was a Disney movie in the 70s, and I didn't know that, and I'm perfectly fine with that. It sounds really interesting. For 5 years, the crew of the Palomino had ranged through deep space, searching for evidence of alien life, with no result. Then, their mission almost at an end, they discovered a giant collapsar, the largest black hole ever encountered, and drifting perilously near it was the long-lost legendary starship Cygnus. Incredibly, the ship was not a lifeless hulk. Its commander, the genius who had designed the Cygnus and planned its epic voyage, still survived, served by a horde of mechanical slaves. But Commander Reinhardt had no desire to be rescued. He had a rendezvous with the incredibly hellish forces of the Collapsar, and he planned to take the Palomino's crew along on his doomed adventure. So that sounded really good, so that's why I bought it. I had no idea it was a movie. I wasn't really paying attention. And apparently it had Anthony Perkins and Robert Forster in it, and Ernest Borgnine, so that's cool. Robert Forster was Max Cherry in Jackie Brown, which is just one of my favorite characters in any movie. Here is Elysium Fire by Alastair Reynolds. I have my issues with Alastair Reynolds. I've read several of his books. And I really like his world building. I like his ideas. I like his plots. But his dialogue is atrocious. Or in the books that I've read, his dialogue was really bad. And he has this trouble, at least in his earlier books, of having his characters have like full conversations in the middle of gunfights, which is just absurd. So there'll be like people shooting at them, and they'll have these long like conversations with each other while people are shooting at them, when in reality they'd be, grunting and saying four-letter words and snatching things, and instead they're having like these long diplomatic conversations. And that just kind of bothered me. I don't know, I haven't read his later books, so I don't know if he ever, amended that. I'm hoping so. Like I said, I really like his plots. I like his characters. I like his world building. There are just some flaws to the way it's executed that kind of mar the impact of his novels for me. And I haven't read one in several years because of that. So the last book is Embracing Defeat, Japan in the Wake of World War II by John W. Dower. And so this is a big book. It's kind of heavy. See, probably doesn't come through on screen. But I think this will be really interesting because last year I read a book about, Germany in the wake of World War II. So some of the things that happened after 1945 into the 50s, as far as socially and psychologically and that kind of thing. And it was really good. I don't remember the name of it. So I'm really looking forward to this one. There are a lot of pictures, and it talks about Japan politically, socially, psychologically, the writings after World War II, the films, and that kind of thing. So I'm really looking forward to this one, even though it's really big. but I have a feeling it's really good. So I'm looking forward to that one. And I may start this one. I don't know if I'll start it after Corregidor. There may be a few things I want to get to before that, but I'll probably be reading this one within the next couple of months. I'll try to do a pyramid here. I don't think I'm going to be able to. I don't know, I'm pretty good at carrying around books like this. I'm just going to get my palm under it. So that is my book haul, and I thought I would share it with you, and I want to thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.